And this is, I guess we're doing our second theater group here. The two of you is not a group, is it?
That's a group.
I don't think.
Absolutely.
Brenny Rabine is here, and she plays one of the leads. Well, there's four in the show, so there's four leads, I guess, for God of Carnage, which is a Tony Award-winning play. And Maggie Mancinelli-Cahill is the artistic director, and she announced at one of the shows that this was one of the most requested plays. Is that correct?
Yeah, God of Carnage, every year my subscribers and patrons, leave me notes and send me emails, and this was the most requested title of any play I received last year. It's also the most produced play in the United States right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
there are more
wonderful
productions
to
of
hear.
God of Carnage.
I mean, more than our town?
Theaters, yes, than any other play
Yeah.
this year. It will be the most produced play, I think, last year and this year combined in regional theater.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, Brenny, this is such a neat play. And why I find it so neat is because it's a comedy,
Yes.
but it's because of the alliances that keep changing throughout the play. Tell our audience a little bit about that.
Well, the story is about two parents who've come together to discuss a playground fight their boys have gotten in. And my character's son has struck the other character's son with a stick and knocked out his teeth. And so it starts out with the intention that we're going to talk about this. We're going to be really civilized and grown up and talk about it. And and of course, you would think that it's like the two parents are aligned. And just whenever parents start talking about their children, their own choices and their own ego can get dragged into the conversation. And so pretty soon it devolves.
Devolving is a good word because but what makes it so funny is that pretty soon the two women are now friends, and then they hate each other, and then the two men, and they hate each other, and then and then even the male female. I mean, it just keeps going on until it gets hilarious.
Thank you.
When you guys are just all over the place. You cast this? Is that it?
What, me?
Yeah, did you cast?
Yeah, I went to New York and did the casting, and I did I let some equity actors who live up here also audition for the show. Brenny came up here and auditioned, and then went down to New York with me as well. And so it's a really stellar New York cast, and Brenny is, although she lives in Saratoga Springs, of course Brenny works all over the place, so I was really happy to snag her for one of our shows at Capital Repertory.
Like I always say, all these stars have to come from somewhere.
That's correct.
And
That's
it's really amazing that people say, oh, they're local. It's like, no, wait a minute. No, not just that they're local, they happen to live here.
Yeah. Well, Ann, I'd like to get on my high horse for a minute, just
okay.
about that group that just left us from
wonderful?
Beauty and the Beast, who are also great. It was such a pleasure to hear young people say how they had been inspired to go into their careers and inspired to, for a life in the arts by what they saw as children and what they had in their homes. There's a 98% chance that if a child doesn't see theater before reaching high school, when they graduate from high school, there's a 98% chance that child never will go. So, you got to get young people into the theater. They were very inspiring. I felt my artistic director, buttons kind of bursting, just hearing them talk.
Well, and I have to compliment Cap Rep, because you do have a student where you bring kids in and you get them involved in theater.
Oh, well, we reach about 20,000 kids a year through our educational programs.
So there's 20,000 that are going to go to theater
we
again.
go out into schools and bring our shows in, as well as do really significant.
And Proctor's does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our student matinees is very thriving.
Brenny, now how did you get started acting? I know we kidded about this, that she's been on the show before. I says, and she says, yeah, with Mopco. So you love improv too, right?
Yeah.
And it shows, I think, in the play.
Yeah. We had an audience talk back recently, and one of the men in the audience asked us about the spontaneity of our performance. And we sort of took that as a great compliment, that it appears spontaneous.
Exactly.
But of course it's rehearsed, and Maggie's worked with us on the timing and
the choreography. I mean, movement on that stage. It's like, Whoa, whoa. Oh.
Well, you know, the whole idea of God of Carnage is adults turning into kids on a playground. And so, you know, they get into some physical altercations themselves, the men, the women, you know, the men, and the women. And so it all has to be really choreographed, and then it has to look like it's just happening on the spot.
Absolutely, it's well done.
You know, it's extremely well done.
Well
we had
done.
a lot of help. We had a fight choreographer, David Gerard, came in and helped us with that. And we have actors who really have background in improv, and they were very willing to go the extra mile to make it look the same every single night and make it look like it's spontaneous.
And it does. It looks very fresh. Now, I'm sure people are watching and saying, God of Carnage? Where does it get the title?
Well, it really, this is a Yasmina Risa play. She wrote the play. And Yasmina Risa is all about stripping the very thin veneer of civility off of characters who
I think
are
she did it quite well.
dignified to let the other part of ourselves as human beings come out. And so, you know, these are people who let the other side of humanity rip, and hence the idea of the God of Carnage coming out. And it's all about kids on a playground, and they start acting worse than kids on a playground. It sort of reminds me of what it must be like when the stakes are really high in the world, and we know that just under the surface we could go there, but we mustn't.
Yeah.
And
the civility.
And in this case, it's funny. You know, turn it a little bit and it wouldn't be so funny. But this is a comedy, and it's
very well done.
You know.
And Brenny, she's been on you've been in Boston Marriage and a number of other plays at Cap Rep, and I'm sure other plays throughout the country probably. And so she's a joy to watch, as are all the actors on stage. And I think we did show a photo of all the actors. Did we show that, Greg? Yeah, we did show that. I was looking at you, not at the set, so I don't know what was going on. I want to thank you for being here. Now, how long is this going to be on? Until May 27th? 7th. Okay, good. You can still get tickets.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Take some time to go over there. And you do have a kind of a special if they go at the last minute. What is that?
We do. I mean, you know, you can come to the theater for actually less than it costs to go to a 3D movie, I think, these days, since I just went to one. Okay. There's a rush ticket that's available 10 minutes before showtime, and students can come for $16 to any of our shows. So,
okay, great.
You know, you can always see a show. You don't have to worry about the money.
So you're encouraging people, come to the theater.
People need to come to the theater. People need to be in the seats. You know, put their DVRs on, come out to the theater, go to Beauty and the Beast, come to God of Carnage, get it going. Turn it off. You know, have fun. You know, rub up against other people. It's pretty fun, you know.
I know. Well, I agree with you. You know me. I love theater, and it's like, you know, what you said is true. I saw theater as a little kid. My mother encouraged me to see theater, and I remember it was like, I was like, that was it.
You're still like that. You're still like that when you come to Capital Rep. You've been a volunteer at Capital Rep for years. You know, seriously, it's such a pleasure to see people who just have a good time. Yeah. And in groups. And it's so fun when you see people get together and laugh. How often do we really get
share those things?
To share
It's a shared
laughter.
moment.
Yeah.
Shared moment.
Yeah.
Go see God of Carnage, and there will be a shared moment there. Believe me, you will be laughing and having a great time through May 27th. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Dan.